It's 2025, and it's time to celebrate one of the most famous men in the world. Welcome to Jackie Chan-uary, and welcome to Half-Ass Movie Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Half-Ass Movie Podcast, a show where we put together a half-ass theme as an excuse to watch movies. My name is Adam Portress, and joining me today, in his 20s, he too was known as the drunkard with internal strength, Sweet Sean Zakovacs from the internet.
I'll break every bone in your body and send you straight to hell.
You son of a bitch, that was literally my next line, and he'll break every bone in your body and send you directly to hell, Bruce Leslie.
I too like to fight when intoxicated.
Oh, man, that's hilarious, because I was like, all right, I wrote that down the second I heard that line, and I'm like, that's going to Bruce. Well, welcome back, everybody. It's 2025, and Jackie Chan-uary is underway, and we're going to kick it off with the movie that made him a giant star, Drunken Master from 1978. Now, I know a lot of people out there, they've mentioned it even in our Patreon comments, patreon.com/HMP, we'll get there in a minute, who have said Drunken Master 2, even Shanzi here is all on the Drunken Master 2, but I am very often pointing people back towards the old original Drunken Master, and we're going to see if that's going to be worth it, and go over a couple other Jackie Chan films this month. I'm excited for this one. I'm glad that we've got this many weeks in our January as well.
I know.
So tons of fun getting ready for that one. Now, had you guys, either one of you seen this previously to this?
I was new to the movie. I've seen surprisingly little Hong Kong Jackie Chan, it turns out, because the movie I loved doesn't even have Jackie Chan in it that made me fall in love with Jackie Chan. So that's another story.
That's a very, wait a minute, the movie that you love with Jackie Chan.
Hard Boiled.
Oh yeah, that's right. He liked Hard Boiled because he's like, it's Jackie Chan's really great. It's like, well, that's Chow Yun Fat,
but he's still good.
He is good though. He is good. There's no denying that. Sean, first time.
I have my first time.
I have seen it. I had seen it before, but I didn't see it. I saw it 20 years ago. Like I have not watched this movie in a very long time. I watched this and Drunken Master 2 in like a week.
Listen, man, you don't have to tell me that you know how to have a good time. I get it. Before we get into all that, though, let's say a big giant thank you to the people who support us over at patreon.com/HMP. Those people get pre-show, post-show, Dinger Zone, and behind-the-scenes looks. Did you know that? Because I'm shooting videos and stuff over at YouTube, and I'm working on a video right now. It won't be up until probably about midweek and everything, just because I've run into some snags, but that's bound to happen. But that means you're going to get a better product at the end of the day. But yeah. Check it.
You've inspired me to work on a YouTube video. It's going to take me a little while to get it finished, but I'm doing a video about how to make the perfect concession stand popcorn.
You son of a bitch, running in on my territory.
You know what the secret is? I talked to Karen because she makes all the popcorn for the high school concession stand. Mm-hmm. They do it exactly the same way you do, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
So the whole thing is I'm going to throw up a little bit of your picture and say, don't listen to him. He's telling you wrong, and then do it the exact same way you do. And then see if I can start beef with you on YouTube.
Listen, that's half the comments in there is just going like, this is great. Here's my method that's completely different.
Of course.
Like, and my way's the best way. I'm like, okay, that's good. Thank you.
What did you expect the comments were going to be? Of course.
It was supposed to be all love and just saying, I'm going to stop it and change my ways now. That's what I was hoping for. I'd hope we'd have a little bit of a revolution here instead of a middle finger, but apparently, no, most of the comments are very, very good. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm fighting people all the time.
They're very good comments for the most part. And then you're doing it wrong are just people that have to, like, if they aren't better than everyone at making popcorn, they don't know who they are. Like, they're those kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I watch a lot of videos about like medical things, and I'm like, man, that is just wrong. But I never feel the need to go into the comments section and fight about it.
I say this: if you made it into the comments section, that means we struck something in there, because I don't leave comments on Jack. So
yeah. Oh man, I used to get the weirdest comments on my anime videos.
But I want, good Lord, your anime videos, my God. So we're actually having a thing where if you comment on the HMP episode on our YouTube page here and everything, we'll read your comment. And our comment from last week, we only had the one there, but essentially it was Nate dragging me for forgetting that he was actually going on a cruise when we're actually doing the Poseidon adventure. So his New Year's Eve cruise was coinciding with the Poseidon adventure and everything, and that gives you a little bit of a wariness, I suppose, before you're about to set sail.
Do you think there's more people on a cruise for New Year's or less?
I would think that it's like there's more people on the cruise, but less people that are interested in going on a cruise. But those people, like, they mark their calendar and they do it every year or something. Right. Like there's cruise, because there are cruise people for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cause I imagine like the New Year's Eve cruise type, that's their personalities. Like we go on a cruise for New Year's Eve to the International Dateline or something weird like that. But
now see, that'd be a bitchin' trip if you're going across and you're crossing like 5 date lines and stuff like that, and then you can you celebrate it each time. That's badass. I like that. But I don't think a ship goes that quick though.
I'm just using round numbers, but I would say if like 10,000 people would like to go on a normal cruise, there's like 2,000 that want to go on the New Year's Eve cruise, but they want it so bad they'll pay triple the price because they don't realize there's less demand. I feel like it's something like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
A stateroom is 3 months.
I would love to go on a cruise, but I'm 6'11". I fit nowhere. Like a cruise just seems like a nightmare.
I took one of those big and tall cruises.
That's not a thing. That's called a tugboat.
The DXL
just a coal
cruise.
barge and a coal barge and a subway foot long.
It's called a tugboat.
Patreon.com/HMP or drop us an email, halfassmoviepod@gmail.com. Review us on iTunes, all of those fun things. Tell your friends, shake a tree, I don't know, whatever, man. Let's get into it, boys. Here's the IMDb plot line for Drunken Master. As we know, IMDb always 100% correct in everything they say and or do. Wong Fei-hung is a mischievous yet righteous young man, but a series of incidents, his frustrated father has him disciplined by a master of drunken martial arts. That is true.
That's pretty good.
Not too bad.
That's a pretty good one.
Jason Abbott's got a little bit of a better one. He says the father of Wong Fei-hung has been attempting to teach his son kung fu, but has found him too disobedient to teach and decides to send him off to his uncle, a cruel and torturous master of the 8 drunken Genji kung fu. After much suffering, the son comes back to rescue his father from an assassin. Jason Abbott, that's not too bad either. This is written by Ng Z Yin and Hiaso Ling. I'm going to pronounce all the names wrong. They both wrote Snake Fist in the Eagle Shadow, Dance of the Drunken Master, other stuff with Wu Ping and other stuff not. Directed by Yin Wu Ping, who did Snake Fist in the Snake in the Eagle Shadow, The Magnificent Butcher, Iron Monkey, Tai Chi Master. He was also the fight choreographer for, of course, The Matrix, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Kill Bill, Once Upon a Time in China, the Jet Li Fist of Legend movie, Unleashed, and he's still working today. And
that's amazing.
Like it's insane.
Adam, I have a question. for you.
Yeah.
So there's Drunken Master. There's Drunken Master 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Snake and Eagle Master? Is that what it's called? Snake and Eagle Master.
So here's the problem with a lot of these movies: is a lot of them have similar names and names within themselves that can be several things. So Snake in the Eagle Shadow is what it's.
That's what it is. Snake in the Eagle Shadow, because that's Jackie Chan as well, right? Mm-hmm. That's a Jackie Chan movie.
Just before this one.
And is that the first of these movies? Is it the same characters?
I can't. It's been so long since I've seen Snake and the Eagle Shadow. Is that
I'm sorry for putting you on.
That's okay.
I know that Beggar So is like a folk character, the Drunken Master. So it would probably be Beggar So that's showing up in it, but probably different actors.
Well, Jackie Chan's playing a folk hero also. So like my question,
the Freddie Hong character. I got the idea just from what I read, like going into the movie, that he's not playing the same character in the non-Drunken Master titled movies, Jackie Chan.
I see.
This is supposed to be the first time these two folk heroes met on screen who'd been linked in folklore, something from an interview I read.
Because it's all the same cast, basically, right? That's what's messing with me, is that doing a like a 5-minute half-ass Google search. I was like, oh, this must be the first one. But it's not.
So this is that the character in Snake Fist and Eagle Shadow is Chien Fu. I think is that how it's pronounced and everything. So he's an orphan that's bullied at a kung fu school, met an old beggar and everything, and becomes the teacher. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so not quite, but so we'll get into why this is kind of an important and interesting character here and everything. So I was just going to say, starring Jackie Chan and a whole bunch of Chinese people that I'm not going to try to butcher their names, so we'll save us all the embarrassment there. So let's talk about it. So the interesting thing about this, Sean, is that this is the first time that we're seeing Wong Fei-hung done in a comedic role. Now, right. Wong Fei-hung is kind of like, it's tough to really make an American comparison because it just doesn't quite get there. It was an actual dude who did actual things in China and everything, but he's kind of like, I've heard it described as George Washington and Abraham Lincoln kind of combined. Like he has that kind of like legacy or whatever. So think about taking that dude and making him, the butt of jokes and a comedian and stuff like that. So this is a very huge departure for a character that's had at this point well over 100, films with him as a character in that movie.
I've heard him compared to like a combination of the leading men from James Fenimore Cooper novels, like that kind of like earthy hero.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, well, think like Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone.
Yeah, Davy Crockett is definitely one that he's been kind of also kind of compared to as far as like that sort of, ongoing country legacy and whatnot. But even we don't have something that like lends itself to this level to where, there's not 100 Elvis movies, for example, or something like that.
Right. I've heard that he's basically Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah. He's the best of both worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here on the Ohio River, our folk heroes, some guy named King of the Keelboaters, and I can't even remember his name. Mike something or other.
Greg. So this is essentially the weird
Greg.
situation here because we're looking, here in 1978, but then come 1990, I want to say it's 3, Yin Wu Ping, the director of this movie, would direct a prequel more or less to this movie in Iron Monkey. So in Iron Monkey, the little kid is Jackie Chan's character, Wong Fei-hung. So that's the little character. That's what's also makes that a really fun thing is like whatever happened. What if, our little guy who was the big famous dude who would just go on to be, this big legend and everything. What would he be like as a kid? It's like Muppet Babies.
Well, before we jump too much into details, I just got like an overall question for you guys. This being the first time I've ever seen it, you two being more familiar with it. Is this movie kind of the blueprint for Karate Kid?
Well, no, really, ultimately, here's the thing.
No, Rocky is. Written by the same guy.
But the whole wax on, wax off seems a lot like taking the water from this bucket and putting it in that bucket.
All is. Here's the thing. It all is.
They all have that.
All of this is, since martial arts movies have existed, there's also existed the formula for these things. And they're the comic book movies of their day, right? It's like the same recipe all the time. Like the plot of this movie is the plot to 1,000 kung fu films.
Wasn't Johnny's nickname Thunderleg?
No.
I want to try to create a Mandela effect where everybody swears he was called Thunderleg and they go back and watch it. Now he's not.
You're gonna have to get into a much more successful podcast in order to make that work.
Yeah.
Grassroots. I'm doing it the old style. These things used to start on a playground. What are you talking about?
That's true. So let's talk
you heard
about
it here first, folks. Thunderleg, Johnny.
Let's talk about a couple of, because I have kind of like the rundown of the movie itself, because, we could also just go, there's a bunch of fighting that's going on, but that's.
How do you feel about kicking?
Are you more of a puncher or a kicker kind of guy? But the movie kind of starts out at their training camp there, or not the training camp, but the big giant fight with our kind of what we'll find out to be the bad guy here and everything. Really showing us right away that the fights in this movie are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's go ahead.
I know that you're totally in the bag for kung fu movies, and that's awesome. And I'm glad you love kung fu movies. And when I say this, let me start over. So here's the thing, right? Like, I know that there are people in this world who aren't just lucky. Like, they're not famous because they're just lucky. Like I think Adele is one of those people. Like Adele was going to be famous no matter what because she's got like the world's greatest singing voice. And and Jackie Chan is one of those people too. Like Jackie Chan, he is a unique, impressive talent. He is so very talented. And when you don't have all of the oh my god, I can't believe they just did that stunt stuff of Jackie Chan, like you can see just how talented he is in this. And I understand this is one of the first, it's not the first, but it's one of the first funny kung fu movies. I was so bored by this movie. I was so bored. And I think the reason why is because I've seen enough kung fu movies at this point to where I'm like, oh yeah, okay, so yes, so then he has to train, and that there's going to be the training sequence, and then we're going to get to the part where he gets beat up by the bad guy, and then at the end he's actually gonna prevail. Like I realize that's the formula for every movie, but when 30%, it's the same problem I have with musicals, where like when 30% of your movie is this thing that I really kind of don't care about, like you have to have something else that you're bringing to the table in order to keep my interest. And this movie, if you aren't into kung fu, is the most boring movie ever.
Bruce, your rebuttal.
I don't know that I agree. I think that there's some physical humor in this that on a basic level some people could enjoy. If you don't like kung fu, though, there's a lot of kung fu in it. So it would depend on if you were just ambivalent towards kung fu or were literally turned off by it, because you can't overcome that no matter what. But
I'm not turned off. I'm not turned off by it. Look.
I know you're not. I'm just thinking in general for recommendations purposes. But I think if you don't like kung fu movies, you still might enjoy this because of some of the humor and stuff. And if you don't like kung fu movies, you probably haven't seen a bunch, so you're not going to know the formula by heart necessarily. But you will be like me and think, oh, this drunk guy is like reminds me of Mr. Miyagi when he was drunk that time, even though different ethnicities, same idea.
Don't get me wrong. Like I understand that this is a very unique movie for the time specifically. Like I know that Jackie Chan was fighting to make a comedy kung fu movie at the time because China just wanted to make Bruce Lee clones because he was so successful. His movies were so successful. Like I get all of these things, but the part that I'm having a hard time with is that like this is a movie. This movie doesn't feel like a kung fu movie. It feels more like a dance routine movie, and that's fine. Like that's what this movie is, because it has to be that, because Jackie Chan's a dancer first. So like when there's so many moments where you're like to my eye now, like it's like watching the lightsaber fight from episode 1 now, where you're like, well, why would you make that move? Just you're only making that move because it looks good. And there's a lot of that in this movie, which is fine. But I understand it's venerated for what it is. I'm just not going to be one of the people who is venerating this movie.
I think you got to have the same kind of, we were talking about wrestling in the pre-show for our Patreons. And I think you got to kind of like when you watch wrestling, oh, come on, man. Some of that stuff looks like you should go to prison, and some of that stuff is like I could hit my grandma like that and she wouldn't roll around on the floor. You know what I mean? You just understand.
Yeah, but I mean that's why I stopped watching it when I was like 10.
Guys, is the Undertaker not real?
But anyway, I guess to get back to the point, when I'm watching an old kung fu movie, I kind of enjoy the showmanship. I enjoy the fact that it's unrealistic. You know what I mean? I give him a pass. But I don't know if you caught it, Sean, because you might have been doing some phone time if you weren't into the movie, and I won't blame you for that. But there was one point where the beggar So tells Freddy, which is his name in the American version instead of Wai Fung or whatever. Of course it's Freddy. But he tells him, look at you, you're just a dancer. You can't fight. And then he teaches him how to fight.
I do like how
make that stab at him for just being a dancer.
They have everybody's correct name in the American version, but they changed Fei Hong to Freddy because they were just like that. No, they ain't going to accept that.
Well, also to give him credit, out of all the voice cast, only one person sounds like a Freddy when they dubbed it, and that's the one who plays Freddy. I love that that voice actor has no Chinese accent, and everybody else has a pretty heavy one. Like, there's no explanation for why Freddy sounds like he grew up in Burbank.
Hey, what do you do? You listen, I'm Jackie Chan. What do you want from me, fella? Okay.
It's got a real Richie Cunningham vibe.
But here's the thing. And it took me a while to get to this point, Sean, because I would say even within a lot of the 90s and stuff, this is it. I had kind of that same sort of idea with a lot of kung fu films and stuff. It was just like, I'm seeing the same sort of thing over and over again. And then it was just like when it was finally kind of explained, and it's like, it's one of those like open in your third eye kind of deals where it was like, yeah, this is what this, like, if you go to a swashbuckling movie, you know, with pirates and stuff like that, you're going to be pissed off if they're not having, you know, big, you know, sword fights and all this other kind of stuff. That's what you're going there for. You're going there for those adventures and all the little things in the middle. That's just the fun connective tissue to this, but you're going in for that pirate movie. Same thing.
I totally agree. What I am saying to you is that if you are not a gigantic fan of kung fu movies, you really can't appreciate what is happening when you're watching this.
Right. So let's talk about that.
I would say that I'm a middling at best kung fu fan.
Let's talk about that for a half second, because I want to talk about why I think when watching this and stuff, to me, when I'm watching it and it gets the thing that gets me glued to it is the choreography, and really that's that combination of Yen Wu Ping and Jackie Chan and stuff. Many people would kind of, there's speculation that, you know, maybe Wu Ping kind of took a lot of, I guess he probably did learn a whole lot of stuff from Jackie Chan with them, because his first two directorial movies were Jackie Chan flicks. So this is his second one. So they were kind of learning from each other here and everything. But I really think Jackie Chan helped just propel this thing forward. And then that would really become part of not only his kind of signature style and everything, but Yen Wu Ping stuff as well. And Jackie, of course, would take that and then add stunts to that, adding a whole nother level, which I think people ended up talking about, like in his later career more, is like what crazy stunts and stuff Jackie was doing. I don't think people really ever gave him as much credit as he truly deserved as far as fight choreography and stuff goes, because he's really, really amazing at that. And that this kind of starts off that big phase here and everything, and kind of brings it to that next level. And it is like, it's like watching that musical where it's like, okay, we're in, you know, Gene Kelly's going to dance around for a bit. That's what I came to Singing in the Rain for.
Right.
I want to see Gene Kelly dance, and I want to see this magical dance, fight dance go out there and everything. And you're right, it's tough, especially if you don't understand what else was kind of going on at that particular time, and then how much that influences things going forward, and just the fluidity of everything, the use of props. I never saw anyone use more props than Wu Ping and Jackie Chan and stuff, where it's like, whatever's around, we're going to pick that up and we're going to make that part of this scene, or construct it so we have those things to pick up and things to use and stuff like that. And this movie especially, like, you take the sword fight, the fight with the sword, like right in the beginning where they're fighting over the jade there and whatnot. The timing is so tight on all of that stuff. It is wild to watch. I mean, fight choreographers today could learn a little bit of something, because it is so down pat and everything. It's just so smooth and amazing to watch. And we're moving the camera just enough. It's staying in place when it needs to and everything, but cutting on all the right spots. It's just like the following of action in this, it really was, I think, building towards what would kind of become more of that modern action language as far as martial arts goes.
And I think Jackie Chan's physical comedy got a lot better after this. I'm not saying that it's bad here, but I'm saying that if he had made this movie in 1985, just 7 years later, he would look like he was actually drunk and stumbling around and just accidentally winning the fights. Whereas here he looks like he's mimicking someone who's drunk, which, you know, is not what I wanted to see.
Right. The drunk scene from him, he literally, I mean, he clearly has never been drunk before.
Well, he's like 23 when he's doing this, and my guess is, given his build and upbringing and stuff, probably didn't do a whole lot of drinking and stuff like that. So,
but you know, in 1985, he's going to be able to sell that.
Sure.
Oh yeah, you
And,
got more. You're 30 there, at that point. So yeah.
yeah, but I mean, just he's advanced as an actor and his body
Agreed.
movements are more fluid.
Totally
I
agree.
I went into this expecting to see something like Woozy Winks. Do you guys know the comic book character Woozy Winks?
No.
He was a Plastic Man sidekick who was cursed.
Oh, right.
He was cursed with either the worst good luck or the best bad luck or something like that. So like somebody he would drop his hat and bend over to pick it up just as somebody threw a big haymaker at him. So he would duck it. And then they would look down at him as he picked up his hat and stood up. He would like headbutt him in the chin and knock him out. Like I wanted to see Jackie Chan doing some stuff like that while he's stumbling around dropping.
But that doesn't come till later, right? Like that's because that's not really happening here. Although there's a little bit of that.
That's what I wanted. I'm not saying that. Yeah.
Right. Like that whole, it seems like, it seems like it's a shame that somebody came up with the concept for the tuxedo when he was so old, because when he was younger, that would have been a killer movie if he was younger, because it's the thing that he likes best, which is how am I doing these things?
Yeah. It's really a shame that he's kind of aged out of it, and listen, when you're in your 70s, it's gonna be tougher to do these things, of course. But like, there's never been anybody that's come close to kind of replacing him or giving him a run for his money in really any way, shape, or form.
Well, and also nobody came before him. I think he's going to be a singular figure.
But putting together Buster Keaton with Kung Fu is just a genius idea. Like that's a genius level idea, and it's something that everyone understands when you look at it. Every single human knows what you're doing when you're doing that. And it is a recipe for success. And especially if you are really, really good at it, like he was. And so like, I was like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault, but I was kind of expecting to see that level of mastery, which he does not have yet in this movie. He hasn't kind of figured out Jackie Chan, the character yet.
Yeah.
Because he's such an asshole in this movie.
Well, and that's the thing is like, and he does this a couple of times in a few movies, but he's usually like, he played in the movie Mr. Nice Guy, so if that tells you anything. But like, there are a couple of times where he is a real shithead in this movie and stuff. But there is at least something. He's got that kind of that devil may care kind of thing where you're kind of okay with him being a dick sometimes, or at least you're not like completely put off by it. It doesn't make you hate the guy. You're just like, oh, that was kind of a dick move. But then he'll do something like half enduring, like 3 seconds later, or something funny.
Right.
And I kind of expected it to be the sort of thing, like you read in a fantasy story or fairy tale, like the prince's, the king's son, the prince gets sent off and lives this rural lifestyle that comes back with a whole different set of values. I think that Jackie Chan has all the same values, but now he can kick the butts of anybody who might have been able to get him on the right track.
Well, let me send you a Jackie Chan flick called Robin B. Hood. If you
oh boy,
that's a real thing. It was a later one. Yeah. I
think I kind of can guess the plot.
No, I don't think you can. It's it's a little different than what you might think, but it's not nearly as good as you would hope, though.
I was picturing like Jackie Chan doing his best Burt Ward Robin while he's in the hood.
Not quite. Sean, I think you're right. Like, this movie could almost actually just be shown silent, and you'd still get everything that's going on and stuff. And Jackie Chan is so expressive in what he's doing, but it never feels like it's it's over the top, but like not in a bad way.
I think if it was silent, I never would have figured out that girl was his cousin the way that he grabbed her and stuff.
Well,
true. Also, if the movie like if trying to wrap this thing in a script, when the script isn't that strong, a script is what makes it so long. Because I can at a certain point, I was like, I think I was like an hour in, and I was like, holy hell, this movie has been going on forever. Because it is almost all fighting, and when they're talking, you don't really care what they're saying. So like, it's part of the issue with this style of movie at the time. Like, look, if you're again, If you are totally into this genre and you're totally into kung fu movies, you are ripping your hair out at the things that I'm saying right now. But like it's totally fine. But this is baby steps to use your term, madam. This is baby steps to who Jackie Chan will eventually be. And this is going to seem like I have just said something awful and cursed, but like I would much rather see something like Rumble in the Bronx than this movie.
Oh yeah. I mean, he gets better. Like I've said, he gets better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can see, you can at least see the charisma though that's coming off of this guy to where you go like, yeah, this is definitely a leading guy. But again, one of the great things about Jackie Chan is like he's a regular looking guy. He's not an ugly guy, but he's not super good looking. He's very kind of your average Joe sort of thing, and he's played up well to that his entire career.
He's the karate master next door.
Yeah,
or the kung fu master next door.
Now, I'm pretty sure this was filmed at around the same time as Enter the Dragon, and a lot of resources were shunted that direction, like local filmmaking resources. But one thing I did want to kind of talk about is the guy that plays Gorilla, the bouncer in the noodle bar where Jackie Chan tries to stiff him on the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And you made a reference to this before, Sean, in the Patreon, I think. He looks surprisingly like Bolo Young. So much so that I had to do a lot to convince myself that he wasn't Bolo Young, but he's not. I don't have the guy's name, but I finally found it. Bolo Young was filming Enter the Dragon while this was being filmed, but they needed to get those guys in some movie as brothers, like a good brother and an evil brother. But
those are two different people. The guy who's the bad guy in Bloodsport, the guy who's the bad guy in Bloodsport,
yes, Bolo Young,
and the guy who's in this movie are not different
people. And if you look at them, you can tell the faces are different. But who looks at the face when you got pecs like that?
Wow.
Yeah,
there was checking out his mail chowders.
There was a long-standing thing where people were like, "Who is that him? Is that him?" And that was the because my God, they're very much. I mean, especially just build-wise, is so damn close. Face-wise, it's definitely different when you kind of look real hard into them. But like body-wise, it felt like they just came out the same womb. I don't know.
Wow, that's amazing. They could be the Asian barbarian brothers.
Yeah, and you'd pay for that ticket.
If I had a time machine, the only thing I would change in history is I would go back to 1977 and film the Asian barbarian brothers in Hong Kong.
Or you could just get one of the dudes and do the little split screen there.
No,
that's not the point. The point is they look so much alike.
Yeah, you gotta make them a tag team and go to Japan and wrestle them.
They're identical. They're identical strangers.
Arn-san and Oli-san. That's what I would call them. Take them over. So let's see. Man, I really am good at bringing the show to a dead end. I got to work on this. Did you guys have a favorite character in a small role? Because I'm sure you both know who mine was.
Oh, my God, do we ever. I even wrote a note. Let me roll down to where that note is at. Because I was just like, I'm writing this one down because this makes nothing but sense here. I go, the fat bull hair kid is Bruce's favorite.
Yeah, his one line is, he looks like a dumpling.
but he's got a special scene in the movie. He even gets his own little time because they've got him up here and his shirt's off. He's glistening. His pants are damn near up to his nipples, and he's giving his like rah. He's rolling one of those things, and like all of a sudden, our main Wong Fei Hung shows up, and they're like, "Oh, okay, back onto the guy that we give a shit about." Sorry, guy that looks like I don't know. He's a roly poly little guy, and I love him so much.
Plus the full guy that he beat up so bad he's in a full body cast. I kind of liked him because it reminded me of the Naked Gun.
Oh, and what a turd ball that guy was, but you love to see him get the crap beat out of him because he really did just like go up to this old man and goes, "Oh, everything that you got in life, I'm gonna smash it on the ground right now in front of your face. Screw you!" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you can beat the hell out of that guy. No one's gonna care."
Oh man, and when he's in the full body cast and he gets roughed up during the fight, like used as a prop, I love that part.
Oh yeah,
very Three Stooges.
Flaps him over, hitting the face down in there. There's a lot of like, there's fun, stupid stuff in here where it's just like somebody's we fart in someone's face and then immediately smash their face in. They say dog, but there's no way that's a dog. That's that dog.
It's one of those temple dogs, man. You know what I mean? Those things that look like a lion.
Oh man, I once
foo dog, I think they're called.
I once put a crap on a friend's car here and everything, and he thought we put a all right, I'll tell the whole story. My dad used to work at an Eckerd's, like a drugstore, right? And so sometimes you get things that were kind of damaged or whatever you couldn't do anything with. Sometime he had I guess something happened with like a big old thing of toilet paper or whatever. So he just had a shitload of toilet paper. So one day, one of our friends was over and we were playing Magic, and then I sent my cousin out to mummify his car in toilet paper. And then I took a dump in a plastic bag, and then we put that on his car and stuff. He thought a cat pooped in a plastic bag and put it on his car. Like he's like, what? Where you didn't have to put your cat crap on the car? It's like, what 200-pound cat you think popped that out there, big boy? What a weird.
I wouldn't tell that story again, Adam.
Yeah, that's a leave that to yourself story.
Listen, it's just I just thought it went in wrong.
Statute of limitations has passed, but
But hey, listen, he tore all the toilet paper off and then put it in one little pile there. He thought he was getting back at us. It's like, you made cleanup easy. What are you talking about? Like, you don't know how to get back at people.
How many days do you think it took to shoot this? That's one of the things, because it has that can-do attitude about it.
A week.
These fight scenes.
This is a week.
Okay, I would think each fight scene would take at least a day, though. They're pretty complex.
Oh, without a doubt. But the choreography is done way ahead of time. I mean, because you're trying to save money. You're trying to save money by the choreography, right?
By rehearsing, basically.
Yeah. So you're doing that for basically 6 months. You have a camera for a week.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I never thought of it in those terms, but it really does feel like something that you've only got enough money to get this done in 10 days or something.
And
maybe
from what I'm to understand, like all the sets and stuff that they're on, they didn't build any of those. Those were all kind of pre-existing things and stuff like that. So like they had two nickels to rub together on this bad boy.
They were stolen from the popular television show Kung Fu.
I liked our villain Thunderleg, who looks like I call him Asian George Harrison.
I think
he does look like Asian George Harrison. That is a good comp.
For some reason, all I thought was like, this guy says Southern California 1970s. The mustache and hair.
Oh yeah.
He looks like an Asian George Harrison. You're absolutely right, Adam.
That man owns a Beatles album for sure.
Did you have that? Did you have that from the Get of Go?
Oh yeah,
like George Harrison.
Yeah.
Well, that's so interesting.
I bet that guy drives a van, the only van in Hong Kong, like Chevy conversion van, not like a Asian van.
He's got carpet on that sucker.
A waterbed.
Oh, I like how they also said Thunderleg was like this is a pretty awesome thing for a villain. He'd sell his brother for money, and like he looks in the mirror, he looks right in the camera and just goes like, "Yeah, I'd be doing that." He didn't even care. I love that. I was just like, "Wow, this guy is pretty in there." Oh, also, I understand that everybody's got different cultures and stuff like that, and they're monotheistic and plural theistic and all that kind of good stuff here. Do we need 7 or 8 drunken gods? That seems like an awful lot. There's a lot of boozing going on in the afterlife, it seems.
Yeah, I mean that's Japanese tradition. They didn't make that up just for this movie.
Like, listen, this guy's drunk. Chinese. This lady's drunk.
I'm sorry, Chinese tradition. Too many years of anime, guys. I apologize.
Yeah, it happens.
Being Catholic, I was raised Catholic. There's a saint for everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
And so that's kind of how I look at it.
Saint Kung Fu Aquinas.
Yeah.
Just chopping people left and right. But again, it's another great kind of trope, if you will, of martial arts films and everything. Whether it's this or like your Five Fingers of Death or something like that, or where we go, here are all the different styles of fighting and stuff like that. And we're introducing you to all of them, and then eventually you'll have a cause for all of those things. I mean, it's Voltron as well. It's like, hey, we're going to take all of these things, and eventually you'll be able to mash all of those things up and be able to overcome, evil as per usual.
Right.
But for me, works well enough. with all of it. I enjoy it. What do you think about the training methods and everything like that? That's a special kind of torture. Hey, sit over this big giant nail thing or whatever while we put hot tea on your head and legs and hands and everything. Pretty brutal.
Totally made me think that's all you have to do to be good at kung fu.
Yeah, that's every kung fu movie.
Yeah, again, but who else is doing it? But again, also the fun stuff.
Who else is doing it? Every kung fu movie ever,
not like this,
including the Karate Kid.
Yeah, it's because they stole
wax on, wax off. MFer.
But again, fun Jackie Chan stuff where he's doing the big sit-ups with the water and everything, and then while Master's kind of sleeping or whatever, picking the corns off of his toes, whatever the hell it is he's doing, he's like, all right, I'm going to just sneak all this water in here, and then goes, okay, good job, you filled that up, now unleash it with these tiny little cups. I mean, just stupid little stuff like that that's, for, again, like you said, for a thing that clearly has no money, because the majority of their fights and stuff are like, here's a giant barren field, go fight in that, please.
I love it how he was clever enough to lure his drunken master into a gigantic jar of water.
Oh, What do you think about, there are a couple of moments here when Jackie Chan is fighting where you go, damn, Jackie Chan's a little bit ripped in this. When he's got a pump on, man, he's looking good.
My God, I didn't ever think that was in question.
That guy is like all sinew. Like every bit of that guy is sinew.
He's just rolling in there, and when he's got that fist grasp there and everything, you see the veins pumping his bicep there and everything. Like damn, Jack about to kill somebody. It's so good.
There's certain moments where you can see how his body works.
And I always imagine he has to be like real life tough from all the hits he's taken making movies and doing his own stunts. So you add being real life high threshold, numb to pain with all those muscles. I figure he's a pretty tough guy in real life.
Man, his bones have to be chalk though.
Well, at this point.
No, well, or they're like steel and they've been broken so many times and rehealed so many times that they've been
forged. He's more machine than man.
Yeah.
Literal steel because he's had both hips, both knees, both shoulders. He's had everything that's replaceable replaced.
I am more robot than man now. I am Jackie Chan.
When I walk, it sounds like keys are rattling, but I don't own a car.
Now, Bruce, your second favorite character's got to be our bald guy with our eyebrows here and everything, who's got the steel head and whatnot.
Oh, his name is Bullet Head.
I call him Bonk's Adventures, if anybody remembers that Sega game.
Man, he reminds me of my brother.
Hitting himself on the head a lot?
I'm telling you, my brother's head is massive and his brain is small, so it is all cranium. You can bend an aluminum softball bat over my brother's head and he'd laugh at you.
That's a rough one. That guy is great. I love any time that we can have somebody who's got a stupid fighting thing where whatever their deal is like, no, listen, I've got a steel head and I can all of his attacks are him just running head forward right at you, just trying to smash you with his own head, which is hilarious.
Feels very video game mini boss.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But I also love the fact that he finally gets that steel hammer then and just starts smashing them on the heads, just bringing a contusion the size of a golf ball.
Oh, I love those bumps on his head. It's straight Looney Tunes.
They're huge. Just so good, though. This movie's got everything. It's got we show you how to crack walnuts appropriately after all your kind of wrist exercises and whatnot. A lot of wrist talk in this movie. I will say that one. That's one you don't think about when you think about martial arts movies is how much wrist stuff is involved. Here they say a lot.
Yeah, and he does the thing where the walnut cracking pays off because he grabs the guy and rips a piece of skin off of his abdomen. How did they not know that you're supposed to go for the nipple and do a purple nurple if you're going to show off your gigantic squeezing power?
Well, that, and they also get to that point where you think he's going to rip out his throat. Bloodsport, or what you call it there, friggin'
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse style there and everything. You think he's going to rip out the throat, and then he doesn't do that, and then twists his neck or whatever. I'm like, that's a bunch of bull. You almost got us there, but you didn't take it. I guess they just didn't have the, throat cutting money.
Oh, man. He could have honked his nose like Mr. Miyagi.
But But again, fun parts about like the entire movie is called Jackie Chan beats up somebody, and then somebody else comes back later with them going, "We're gonna kick your ass now," and then he kicks
That is
their
this
ass.
movie. You're right. You are right about that.
Then he kicks their ass, and then someone else comes along and starts some shit. He kicks their ass, and then comes back later, just goes, "Hey, my buddy's gonna whoop up on you now," and it never happens. You'd think they'd start learning after a little while.
Yeah.
No real Jackie relationship in any of this. I don't think I'm trying to remember exactly when
he did fill up his cousin.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't really count. But he does.
It does in West Virginia, my friend.
Fair enough. But I don't think, to my recollection, I don't think we really get into him having any kind of like, relationships and stuff until like maybe Police Story, which is not too far off from this. But yeah, Jackie wouldn't have a whole lot of ladies to deal with in the early days. They were just like, you're punching and kicking.
I'm not all that interested in love scenes in general in movies. It's just not my cup of tea. But I'm probably a little less interested if Jackie Chan's involved. I'm just going to lay that out there. It's like I don't like my.
I'm not asking you to watch it. Hold on, Bruce. I'm not asking you to watch a movie where Jackie Chan makes sweet love to a lady by the fireside. I'm asking you to watch a movie where Jackie Chan's got a girlfriend he's trying to save or some shit. All right.
I was like 9.5 weeks of the dragon or something.
No, that's not necessarily where I was going to go with this. This was more like a hey.
You need to edit that out. That's your money.
Pink's still alive, everybody. We can do this.
Jackie Chan and Tiffany
Am I
Haddish.
remembering this correctly that Jackie Chan announced that he was married and there were several women in China that killed themselves because of it? I think I'm right on that.
I wouldn't be surprised because there is like in Asia, I'm not sure as far as like Hong Kong and other stuff, but there's some other ones where like, like if a weather reporter who's like really hot or whatever, like she said, hey guys, guess what? I've had a boyfriend all this time. People are like sending death threats and stuff and all kinds of crazy stuff because they're just like, no, you must be single.
And that's what I'm thinking. If somebody is willing to off themselves because this movie star you like got married, that means that you're receiving death threats if you're Jackie Chan's girlfriend in like, the Tuxedo 2.
I think Korea's like that because like within the past couple of months, somebody from like BTS or some K-pop band had to make a public apology for having a girlfriend and promise never to do it again.
I'll never look at girls again. I promise.
I wish I was.
Listen, I wouldn't be too awful surprised by that. People like the myth and the mystery and the kind of in the lie to themselves, to be honest. I do love the fact that like we get a Deus Ex old man kind of here at the end to cheer him on during the fight and remind him of all the little secrets that we've learned along the way. Because that's how the movies are. It's just like, hey, listen, let's come back. Let's play all the hits that we've kind of played over here and everything. They come into play, and then boom, credits. We're done. That's the nice part. We don't have to worry about too much of this stuff, but we get to go through all of our drunken gods here and stuff like that. But I do love the flirty lady. That's probably the favorite kung fu god there and everything. Just because I don't know, it feels like just Jackie Chan's having fun with it.
Her name is Miss Ho, not flirty lady.
Flirty hoe lady. Well, yeah, she is a hoe. There's that much is true. But it's to me, it's fun enough for what it is. We end up killing the guy, and like literally, it's called that is it. You've never hit the credits so fast outside of like a Hitchcock movie or something. You're just like boom, credits. There you go. You're done.
That was
part
nice.
of the appeal to me. I love it when that happens.
They're like, do we need to go through? Do we need to have a thing where we sit down and go, boy, we sure learned our lesson today and really kick the crap out of that guy? Nope, we're just saying the end, period. And we've already done the credits at the top, so it just drops it all out and you're finished. Goes to black and you go home.
We don't want to spend $75 filming a denouement.
No, that's way too much right there. All right, so let's
here it is. I just said I had a girlfriend and a girl jumped into the subway. Jackie Chan was scared when female suicide rates went up after his marriage announcement.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, you made it when people killing themselves over you getting a relationship. That's pretty good.
And somebody on the post on this said, I did the exact same thing. and another person wrote, anyone laughing at this is a hole. Brilliant.
Yes, indeed. But hey, you do what you got to do.
Really good.
So let's ask the question we ask on all this show about the actor we're covering here. Is Jackie Chan doing it in this role? Let's go to Sean first because he's the most critical, it seems.
I said at the beginning of this, like, I understand that Jackie Chan is an amazing talent who was going to be famous whether he was a movie star or not. Like, that's how talented he is. What I was saying is that if you are not a huge kung fu movie fan, if you are not a huge like you clearly are, Adam, like so when you said how amazing was the first fight scene in this movie, I was like, that's so great.
You know what's hilarious is I
What?
could on the commentary there, the kind of kung fu expert that they've got doing the whole thing and everything says, I saw this movie originally when it came out and everything. That first fight there, you hit the title sequence when he does the little double kick on him there and everything. That's for the American cut. That fight actually went on for 5 minutes longer.
Oh my God.
He goes, they cut out a huge chunk. This was like 5 minutes worth of fight for the rest, but they were like, listen, we got to get into this story. So they cut it down.
I think
So Jackie Chan is like, he's finding his way in this movie. This is the first like keystone to him being the Jackie Chan that the world loves now. But he's not all the way there yet. And so like no one else could do what he's doing, but it's still not Jackie Chan later,
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Jackie Chan gets better. Where he's at here and where both people are in their careers in 1978, I think Sammo Hung could have made this movie. I think a year later, he basically remade it with that Butcher movie. I haven't seen that, but I've heard it's kind of a beggar soul movie. I think that Sammo Hung's probably a little bit funnier than Jackie Chan right now. That won't last, but just he looks funny when you look at him compared to Jackie Chan, who doesn't look as funny. But you're going to give up a little bit on your fight choreography if you go that direction. But if you're trying to make a comedy martial arts, I think this would have been pretty good with Sammo Hung.
Yeah.
At least equally good.
But hey, like, not the... I'm trying to figure out what exactly when Sammo started kind of headlining his own flicks there and everything. I need to look at those dates a little bit better. But
I know we worked with the same director like a year later in that Butcher movie. The one that he headlined.
Yeah, everybody just worked with everybody, and they all made 1 million films. That's half the problem. They just go like, and with the plots all being damn near the same, it's really tough to go like, which one is this one again? Oh, it's the one where the teacher came in and had to teach him how to fight. And you're like, oh, okay, that one.
It's the one where the old guy teaches the young guy how to fight better.
Yeah, no one's teaching the old guys how to fight. That's a weird one, right?
Ooh, I want to make an inverse kung fu movie where like a middle school kid adopts a grandparent, teaches him how to kick the butts of all the old people in the retirement.
Yeah, they're going to start fights and stuff like that, and this little kid's got to train him up to go kick somebody's ass. I'm for that.
The old karate.
The karate geezer.
Good old karate.
The karate octogenarian.
Hey, Jackie Chan's doing that next karate film, so there you go. It's going to happen one way or the other. Yeah, I don't know what that's going to be like. But in this one, yeah, you can see if the Jackie Chan is the only Jackie Chan that you know is kind of like your Rush Hour and post that and everything. I think it's good to go back and watch something like this to show you kind of how far the guy's actually come. And that, like, even at a young age, there was still that kind of charisma peeking out. He hasn't quite 100% got down, who the quote unquote Jackie Chan character is. Because even though he plays, many different characters, and of course a famous character in Wong Fei Hung here, he's still kind of always being Jackie Chan within those particular characters and stuff. And he's really he hasn't quite figured out, that special sauce just yet, but that's right around the corner here. So ultimately, I'm going to have to say yes on this. Now, normally we would do this, but then again, this is going to be a difficult one. And Bruce technically already answered it. If you had to recast the role, who would you do? You said Sammo Hung. That's not a bad choice right there. Since I don't have anybody that's out there that's going to be a good replacement for that, I'm just going to say John Saxon.
Ah, that's great. I was going to say Chuck Norris.
Hey man, Chuck was available. He'd have done it.
I thought David Carradine could steal this role just like he stole Bruce Lee's. So.
That would be hilarious. You know what I want to see? I would like to see Carradine in the Chinese Connection, where where he's like, listen, he's fighting Japanese people who don't like him because he's Chinese. Like, please make.
I want to see him in the Miami Connection teaching Taekwondo with his Korean heritage.
Hey, listen, that would probably work. Don't say that, because that would be good. All right, boys. Movies only come in two forms: art or fart. Shanzi, where are you at with Drunken Master?
This is art. This is art, but it's art if you like kung fu movies and can forgive them of all of their sins. Like it is art. Like what Jackie Chan is doing in here, building the machine of what will become Jackie Chan.
Yeah,
it's interesting for that. I think it's art.
Bruce,
I agree. It's art because when I watch it, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it well enough as a piece of entertainment, but then it also, like, the same kind of enjoyment I get from reading the encyclopedia or reading a history book or something. I'm just like looking, knowing what I know now and seeing where it all came from. And it's so great to just like the feeling I get when those neurons start firing in your brain and you're making these connections. I enjoy that kind of thing. So I really like it for that reason too. And I would call it art, even if I didn't enjoy the comedy or the fighting.
Yeah.
That I enjoyed both better than Sean did. Probably not as good as you, Adam. So I'm probably in the middle.
Yeah, art all the way for me. It's one of my favorite Jackie Chan movies, just because it's like, I don't know, it's that stripped back and raw kind of thing. Like you said, we don't have a lot of money. We just got one of our standard kind of kung fu ideas here and everything. But you've got two guys, when we're putting them together and they join forces, boy, they can put together some damn good fights and stuff like that are just wildly entertaining. And when you get to that point where you go, oh, we're here for the dance, if you will, that's when it all kind of kicks in, and that certainly is the case here for Drunken Master. That is it, everybody. We got our first one of our Jackie Chan-uary underway here and everything, and we're going to fast forward a couple years. I'm making a slight change to what we had talked about previously, boys. We're going to eliminate the one that we had for next week and just bump Bruce's up one here, and then we'll add another one soon. But so next week, we're going to fast forward a couple of years, because I didn't want to give Sean the same thing. That's essentially the movie I had was only taking place 1 year later, and you'd be like, what the hell, are we watching the same damn thing again? So we're going to go a little different. And next week we're going to be talking Meals on Wheels, or is it Wheels on Meals? I forget. I forget which way. That's from 1984. I think it's
Meals on Wheels.
But it's from 1984, and that's got your Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung in it. So we're going to get see a little Sammo.
Wow. You must be psyched.
And at this point, Jackie Chan's bringing that comedy, and Sammo Hung never quit.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. All I got to say is, people, if you haven't seen it before, check out the trailer. That'll probably sell you enough on it. You'll be like, all right, yeah, that feels like something we need to watch here and everything. So we're going to be checking out Meals on Wheels from 1984 next week. In the meantime, Bruce, where can we find more of your work on the internet?
Well, if you want to, you can go check out Werewolf Fighter. It's still streaming for free on YouTube, the award-winning extended short. And other than that, I am thinking about stuff, but nothing worth talking about.
Sean, where's your residency at this month?
My residency? Well, I just left Uptown Atlanta. I believe it's called Downtown, actually. But my residency right now, I'm going to be moving to the west side of Atlanta in the next couple of weeks.
West side?
So check out my work there.
Check them out on the west side, kids.
Yeah,
it is the best side, as they told us back in the day.
He's the one in the blue thong.
My work will be on the west side.
And of course, check out our half-ass movie podcast, rather. You know what? I'm just
YouTube.
There we go. YouTube. Those are the words that I'm looking for. You think I wrote this down at some point, or figured out what the hell I've been doing for the last 2 months. But please go over there. I'm going to have a review of David Fincher's 7 on 4K coming up really soon. I'm looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun work involved with it, but I think it's going to be very cool for you. And if you've ever wondered how to make popcorn in life, by God, head over there and check out the #1 search for popcorn video on the YouTube. That's me. Just put in the word popcorn and boom. You don't even have to find half-ass movie podcast. Just look in popcorn, boom. My beautiful face shows right up there. That's a pretty weird thing to say, but here we are.
Yeah, that's weird.
Isn't it? No, it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm at the top of that heap. All right.
Oh, I thought you meant your beautiful face part.
You son of a bitch. All right, that is it, everybody. Let's get out of here before I have to smash Sweet Sons Kovacs with a hammer here and everything. For Bruce Leslie, Sweet Sons Kovacs, I'm in a porch reminding you that the only difference between art and fart is an F.